Hey guys, last episode we were really sad, and now we're really mad. Once we catch the Blacken, we'll be really glad.
Billy, I have almost had it up to here with these stupid random jokes you come up with. Gad, fad, pad, sad, mad, jad, dad, gad, glad.
I'm just trying to lighten the mood some because the last episode and this one are going to be pretty dour.
Yeah, that's basically true. Speaking of dour, we're the Bittersweet Gamers. A bunch of stodgy old curmudgeons if I ever saw any.
I'm We Squared! Get off my lawn.
I will kick you in the nad. How about that, huh?
That was pretty good. You have my approval.
I'm the opinionator, good lord.
So the only thing we haven't investigated on this stage are the bodies.
And then we have the recording equipment, of course.
Yeah. And whatever other areas need investigating.
Well, then there's the rest of the game. Have you ever considered that? Then there's our time after the game has been completed. Then there's the rest of the series.
Then there's the rest of time as we know it.
There is a point at which the immediacy needs to kick in, Billy.
Ibuki's body lay atop the stage. She's wearing the hospital gown she was wearing when she was sick. What's this on Ibuki's feet?
Okay.
I didn't notice when she was hanging, but the soles of her feet are dirty with what is obviously blood. It's blood, right? But there shouldn't be any external injuries on Ibuki. If that's the case, this blood belongs to someone else.
Now, the timing of everything, Hiyoko could not have been killed here.
Right.
Because otherwise there'd be blood everywhere. We pointed that out last time. If Hiyoko was killed elsewhere, like in the next room, in the storage room.
Yeah, we definitely need to look in there.
If Hiyoko was killed in there, that blood on Ibuki's shoes has to be from Hiyoko.
Yeah.
So that means that Ibuki would have had to have died somewhere else. That is consistent with us noticing that the video could not have been here. Because we have too many discrepancies, like the spotlight.
If it was just someone telling her to kill herself, there would be no need to cut off the video right there where it was.
Right, and you could maybe convince me about the flat chest, but you know me and, talking about boobs. But even if you ignored that, you couldn't see the hair and those rings that were on the bag. Like, I could buy one of those three things and just interpret it as like we just looked at it wrong, or the angle was wrong, or it was too different or too far. But the rings on the edges of the bag, not seeing the hair and the shape of the upper torso, I'm sorry, that can't not be significant, especially when then the video cuts out before the moment.
Yeah.
So it's like she was placed up there, but she really did die due to her throat being crushed, not her neck being broken.
Yes,
her
which
throat
is what normally
being
happens
crushed.
when you hang someone.
So it's like she was strangled to death.
Yeah.
And then she was placed there.
Yes.
And so that had to have been where the blood got on her feet. And something that is interesting about a lot of these multiple murder type games, which we have always been playing apparently.
What does that say?
What appears to be the order has always been wrong. Like, plot twist, the order was different than you thought.
Right. This is all staged to make us think things happened in a certain order. The only reason it would have been staged is if they didn't actually happen in the order that we think they happened in.
That's right. So, not too bad for one measly little clue, huh?
And that's not a lot of blood, actually, either.
Damn right.
Hey, Hajime, can I talk to you for a sec?
Are you going to tell me where the goods are?
Billy? Come here. I got something really fucking important to tell you.
Yeah?
Are you listening?
I'm listening.
Come closer.
I'm coming close.
The cancer is a lobby!
Ow!
You already discovered the body before you met up with us, right?
Yeah, at first I didn't know it was Ibuki because of that hemp bag, though, even though BSG clearly pointed it out because of the hair. But I knew right away she was dead since she was hanging from that rope.
Those 4 ring things on the bag, they were there. And you can clearly see the hair and there's nothing, like on her shoulders, and there's nothing obstructing it. It had to have been a different person. There's no way it's the same person.
Right. No, I agree with you. What you say makes sense.
Like...
Which means Ibuki must have died before Hiyoko was tied up.
Well, that's what the killer wants us to think.
Well,
that helps. There's no time of death written in the Monokuma file this time, so it must be important.
Yeah, because if he put the time of death, that would completely mess with the Blacken's plan.
He gives us some information, but it's not an autopsy, and it never has been.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really sure who died first. I get the feeling this is maybe going to be an important point, huh?
It's true. Their estimated time of death wasn't written in the Monokuma file this time, which means we'll be relying on Mikon. But I should know when Ibuki died because I personally saw it. In that video, Ibuki was climbing the stepladder on her own, so right after that...
See? What's that on the back?
Well, that's just another loop of the bag. It's a little tote bag. It's got the loops on the front and the back.
Okay, so it's just the loops then. That's what I was saying when I was talking about rings.
Yeah, I knew what you meant.
Okay, because it looked like before... I mean, these are details we haven't, like, sat and stared at a lot, so that's what that is, okay. Well, why didn't you say something before if it was so obvious and you knew it already, huh?
Ah, why indeed? Wait, hold on. If Ibuki climbed that stepladder and died right after, does that mean she committed suicide? Is that what the whole point of this was supposed to indicate to us?
Are we going to be doing this again? I don't want to do this.
Is Kyoko a ghost? No, that's impossible. Because even if Ibuki committed suicide, it doesn't explain Hyoko's death afterward. Two different deaths happened at the same time. There's no way that's a coincidence.
You had darn well better be saying there's no way that's a coincidence. Why are you moving so slowly, Hajime?
Hyoko's body is suspended against the pillar on the side of the stage. She's wrapped against the pillar with duct tape, and she looks like she was forced to stand upright.
Duct tape, huh?
Kind of looks like packaging tape to me, but whatever you have on hand, I
Yeah, that
suppose.
does. That is masking tape. Get your tape right. That's the happiest we're gonna be, jeez.
I know. Damn it! Who did this?
Poor Hyoko.
According to the Monokuma file, her cause of death was a slit throat. Her neck looks like it stopped bleeding, probably because of the duct tape wrapped around it. But why is Hyoko's kimono like this? Her kimono is all disheveled. Also, her sash is tied in the front.
Somebody didn't strip her, did they?
That does seem to be what's implied here. I mean, for having her neck slashed, that is not actually a lot of blood.
Yeah, that was all elsewhere and cleaned up. Like, was she in the shower or the bath or something? She was in her own cottage.
Yeah, well, not her cottage. She was in a room at the motel.
The sash being in the front is really just like you tie the sash so she's wearing the kimono, but you tie it on her because you can't tie it on her back right here because you have to freaking strap her up.
Yeah,
and she can't be standing up because she's already dead. So
that's really strange.
It's like it had to have happened while she didn't have it on.
Did the killer do this too?
Because otherwise, there's no reason to tie it in the front.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. But when did the killer kill Hyoko? When I first discovered Ibuki's body, I didn't see Hyoko's body here.
Well, he didn't look around. He just came in and then ran away.
He went to get help.
Right.
If that's the case, Hyoko was killed. It must have been during the time I was getting everyone, before I came back here.
I just don't know if that's true.
But that was barely 10 minutes. Well, she couldn't have died within that short amount of time. She was already dead.
Yeah,
and the killer was like hiding in the staff room or something.
What Hajime is saying can't be right. She had to have died before. Otherwise, it had to have been her body that was in the staff room, not her.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't enough time to kill her. Like, why would she be in here?
Yep, exactly.
I mean, she wouldn't have been like, hey, Mr. Killer, what's going on? Unless, of course, it was like the cooperative thing, like with what happened with Celeste. Yeah. But she would have had to have been killed and then strung up, and that just seems weird.
Is it really possible that the killer killed Hyoko and taped her up in such a short amount of time? Even if it is possible, whoever did it would have had a narrow window of time to do so.
And would have had no idea when somebody was going to come back.
Yeah, that must have been why they barricaded the door, to make sure they would have enough time.
And
although that was a pretty flimsy barricade.
And we also don't know where the original video was being shot. It could have been in the staff room, but I don't know what the advantage of that would be.
Yeah, I figure once we find that out, a lot of things will make more sense.
No, yeah, then we'll be done.
Because the killer must be someone who doesn't have an alibi during that time. Right, Damon? It's Akane, right?
Well, that's who I'm saying right now, but, you know, I suspect several other people. It's just that Mikon and Gundam, who I think, like, just because Gundam's acting weird, and Mikon seems to have had a chance and was around the despair disease.
That's true.
The despair disease has to be the motive.
Well, no, you're right. I wasn't going to dispute that.
Right.
But it's like Mikon, Fuyuhiko, Chiaki, and Gundam were outside with you.
Right. That's why I'm saying that this is probably the case, even though I still suspect Mikon a bit. Remember, it was very, very hot.
That might have something to do with making it, like, adjusting the death time.
It was very, very hot when Mikon was on top of Hajime
I think that was hot for a different reason.
The second time. It wasn't the first time, it was the second time.
Okay, that's true.
That's why I'm saying despair disease.
But then wouldn't Monokuma have cured her once the murder had happened?
Yeah? What's your point? I don't really think it was Mikon, but I think that's a suspicious thing, just like how I think Gundam was acting suspiciously,
Yeah.
But that's probably not true. Oh, Hajime, do you have a minute?
Do I have to? No, you're in the way.
You still haven't really told me what's going on, but I don't wish to be in your way at all, but there's something I really need your help with.
Help?
You blew me off last time, but you can't blow me off forever.
Watch me!
Actually...
If you look closely, there's an unnatural shape bulging from inside Hyoko's kimono. So, I was thinking she might be hiding something.
Wait, hold on. Don't tell me you want me to search inside Hyoko's kimono. Why not ask one of the girls?
Why don't you do it then?
Huh?
Well, yeah, that's exactly it.
Why?
Well, it would have been a problem if she were alive, but she's dead now, you know?
I understand that we have to do things we don't like because of the circumstances, but it's still wrong.
I don't know. I kind of don't really think so.
I just feel like, wouldn't it just be better for one of the girls to do it?
Yeah, but I don't like how there's been lots of like standing around blubbering and equivocating about this stuff. There was last time too. In the last game, I mean.
Yeah.
It's like, I think we ought to just do it, but so why is Nagito asking Hajime to do it? If he's gonna ask somebody else to do it, then he should ask a girl. Otherwise, he can just do it himself. I'm not gonna tell him not to.
I just am naturally opposed to anything Nagito suggests, just as a matter of course. Don't mess with me! Are you saying there's no problem with that now that she's dead, Damon?
Well, now that I'm thinking about it, Hajime, I think you are not the killer.
Is a lie?
I thought you were going to be dramatically opposed to it.
That's a fair point.
Fine, if you don't want to do it, I'll just have to ask someone else. Hey, Akane! Why am I doing this calling people really loudly thing here? Yo, what's up?
Hey.
Well, there's something I want you to do for me.
As the Sakura equivalent, we need you to search the young girl's dead body.
It looks like there's something inside Hyoko's kimono, so can you feel around for that?
What?
Huh? I don't really understand, but I just gotta check Hyoko's kimono, right?
Thanks.
Thank you, Akane. Helping each other is such a wonderful thing.
Now then.
Let's see.
Akane reached through the duct tape binding Hyoko as she stuck her hand inside her kimono.
That's weird.
Damn it, she's tied up so tight I can't really reach with my hand. Oh, wait, hold on.
Yo.
There's something. Is this what you were looking for?
Is this a key?
Perhaps.
It looks different to the key than the keys to the cottage, so this may be the key to her motel room.
Key to her motel room, huh? Well, that's convenient, because we're probably going to have to go there next.
But...
if her key was so deep inside her kimono that it'd be hard to remove, it's very unlikely that the killer tampered with this evidence.
She must have had it on her before the killer put the kimono on.
Isn't that right?
Because if this is a trap, they would have put it more toward the front of her kimono, so we'd notice it easier.
Which means we can conclude this is something Hiyoko had with her all along.
So the kimono wasn't tied then, or the sash wasn't tied.
Right.
Because she wouldn't have tied it in the front for no reason, because she knows how to tie the sash in her kimono now.
Yes.
So it's had to have been somebody else putting it on her for her. Or it wouldn't be in the front.
You're right. I'm just not sure how that helps the killer in any way just yet.
Hey,
Also, it's not like I'm adding to that or anything, but you look like you were curious about the condition of Hiyoko's body, right, Hajime?
Of course, that's why I'm investigating. You think I'm doing this for fun?
It's true, there are several mysteries regarding her body. Well, just hear me out for a second. Out of all those mysteries, what I think is the strangest is
see?
the way they wrapped her body with that duct tape. It's almost like they were trying to hide the wound on Hiyoko's neck, don't you think? I mean, I see exactly what he's talking about, but why would you do that?
Yeah,
Whoever did it knew about the Monokuma file.
Yeah, and the blood would lead us to think that would draw us to investigate her neck anyway.
Although she is in a place without the blood.
Hide the wound on her neck?
I mean, it could have just been done to, like, stop the bleeding. Like, I don't want this to bleed everywhere. The point is there has to be a reason.
Yeah.
I don't really know if that was their true intention, but like Damon said, I guess it's a big help for our investigation. The reason for the low volume of blood is because the duct tape is acting as a compress, right?
That sounds reasonable.
That could work, yeah. If her body were left alone after her throat was slit, the surrounding area would be a sea of blood.
A sea of blood, huh? We did in fact point that out. 2 dead bodies floating in a sea of blood. That's enough to make anybody faint. Now about these broken machines, one of which was not there prior.
Right.
It was the camera.
Yeah, the camera
was there.
The monitor was here when we got here with the first time, and then upon coming back and discovering Hiyoko's body,
the camera was smashed as well.
Now, the thing is we saw it last time, and we didn't say anything about it because we were like, is that true? Is that right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure, and I don't want to go on about it, and this is something that's sort of easy to check, so we just waited until the editing. It was like, yeah, sure enough, that was the case.
The shattered remains of the machine are spread all over the floor.
So this camera is the camera that goes with the monitor set in the hospital.
Yes, it's the one linked to that monitor.
And
the camera in the hospital links to that monitor. Which means the person here was waiting to make sure Hajime saw it, or whoever. And then that way they would know when he left. So he would know the time frame.
Now, what was the monitor here for? To see...
The monitor was here so the killer could see Hajime
when he took the
bait,
call,
so to speak.
And then the camera
was somewhere else because that's where the killing actually happened.
Right.
And that's why they put the black drapes up to make it seem like it happened here.
And the candle.
Yeah.
Presumably it is something extremely close to that. Yeah.
And considering the range, it can only go as far as the motel.
It wouldn't reach the motel. It would reach here. The
Okay.
motel was too far.
Okay, so the murder couldn't have happened at the motel then. Because the camera would have been out of range.
It was too far.
Yeah.
This appears to be the surveillance camera unit.
This, too, must be the will of causality.
Kazuichi put it in the music venue for communication purposes. Why is it destroyed like this? Perhaps criminal psychology is at play here?
What do you mean?
Well,
Even if they know they're not being recorded, there is no way the killer would tolerate committing a murder in front of a camera unless it were part of the show. So, that's why they destroyed the camera. Seems plausible enough.
They'd hesitate to murder someone in front of a camera? And that's why the killer destroyed this?
If there's one thing games like this teach you, everybody's first instinct is probably wrong.
That's correct. Then what was that thing I saw? That big show?
Well, it clearly happened from somewhere else, thanks to the curtain and the spotlight. And the body itself.
And like the range of the camera. It can only happen in so many places. Okay, let's see what's back here.
This is really, really important.
There's a door that says staff only. Looks like the inside is a storage room. I might as well investigate in here too, because if I didn't, I wouldn't be doing my job.
Hey, could the murder have happened in the hospital?
It could have the projection room!
In one of the rooms
The
upstairs!
projector room!
Yeah!
The conference room!
Which, again,
Hold up!
points to Akane.
But wait! If it happened in the hotel room, upstairs, in the conference room, that means that they would have had to...
Well, the projection, the show happened up there.
You're right,
That's
you're
all
right,
that we
you're
know.
right.
That's
Yeah.
all that we know.
Yeah, okay.
Or that could be possible. I'm not claiming anything else.
Yeah, because that couldn't have been where she'd been killed, because there's no way someone could have gotten their body there before Hajime got there.
And the body didn't need to be there.
You're right. That's
Okay,
why I
so it's like
realized,
then-
as I was saying.
So then the person in the hospital follows
Hajime.
I mean, it couldn't have been it couldn't have been Akane because boobs. The size of her chest is too large. It could not have been Akane in that robe, but it could have been Nagito. But
Could have been. It
What
could
if
have
it
been
was-
anyone putting on a robe.
what if it was somebody? Yeah, that's true. It could be anybody putting on a robe. What if somebody finally decided to cooperate with Nagito, and so he didn't actually do anything, and he's not the Blackened, but he's still here
Oh, no.
because Nagito had a robe and was there. But anyway, so it's like the person, whether that's the case or not, whoever it was, could have shot the show in the hospital, knew when Hajime left, and then followed him, and then set everything up after Hajime left again. After Hajime left the video.
Okay, but
there may be
still-
some. I think there's some holes in this, but
There are, such as the doors being barricaded from the inside.
well, Hajime got there the first time, and the doors were not barricaded.
Correct.
So then he left. Let's say the person wasn't in the staff room, and then the killer could have come in after Hajime
Yes.
and continued to do whatever they were doing.
Well, all I'm saying is we need to figure out if the killer was hiding in here when everyone burst in, and then...
Yeah, I just had the
Yeah.
epiphany about the hospital.
Yeah, no, it was a good epiphany. You can see your whole body in this huge full-length mirror. It's probably used for checking costumes and can in no way potentially be used to throw off a camera. With a mirror this big, it'd be easy to check how you look. There's a lot of stickers with the venue's logo placed here. It's like they made a bunch of them and had too many left over. It feels somewhat depressing. Huh? Compared to last time, it feels like there are less stickers than before. Am I overthinking this?
I don't know. They are all over the place with...
They're certainly over this,
Yeah, and that's what was wrapped around the pillar where Hiyoko is strung up on.
Yeah. There's carpeting, wallpaper, and paint on the shelf. It's probably used for stage decorations. Wait a minute. This thick black paper that has a piece missing from it, that's folded up on the lower shelf. It looks like wallpaper. Hiyoko was there the entire time, and this was strung up around her to make her look like the pillar. That's why there was a piece of this at the top, stuck in the rigging. And because it looks just like the pillar, we didn't give it a second glance. When Hajime first got here, what did we see?
Here, as in this, you mean out?
Not here, like in the main venue. What was the first thing Hajime saw?
Well, of course, everybody is looking at Ibuki, the body, but that
that's
pillar
correct.
is there.
That pillar is there.
So this was
This was wrapped around Hiyoko to hide her body.
okay. So it's not that there was a. Okay, no, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's why that corner is up there.
That's why the corner was ripped off and up there. And that's
Because
why
it's
there's
exactly-
two posters, because the posters were on the pillar.
Yeah. I mean, I even pointed out that like they were all over the thing where Hiyoko.
That's how he had time to put the body up.
because it
in
was
scare
already done.
Yes, he just had to, or whoever did it had to take off the
And like
curtain.
tearing it out, and the corner was left. That's why the others are all rolled up, and this one has been used.
Yes, that's
by-
how they did it.
And because nobody in their right mind would be focused on anything other than A, Ibuki's body, or
Getting
even
help.
or even B, looking around the place, which has happened before.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, Hajime didn't. That's like looking for somebody in a room or something like that.
Right.
It's like nobody would be paying attention to something like that in this situation, and Hajime's response was perfect for the killer.
Yep. So suck it.
And so that means, again, it has to be somebody is at the hotel or the hospital, not one of the people that we've seen that have an alibi. It could
Correct.
not have been any of those people.
Couldn't. There are a lot of stickers pasted all over the front side.
Man,
of
that
this
was a good
wallpaper.
call.
Ah, ha, 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 ha. And this edge of the wallpaper, that looks like a strange way for it to tear. Ah, no truth bullet, because the corner of the wallpaper is the truth bullet. Nagito, did you come here to investigate this storage room too, or are you trying to get me alone?
I just wanted to confirm what you were thinking, and I listened to BSG talk, and wow, you got me.
Is that it? Or is he trying to stand guard here?
Hey.
So, how about it? Did you find any clues?
Not at all.
The tipped-over stepladder on the stage, the duct tape binding Hiyoko. That probably all came from this storage room. Yeah, because that's why that bit of blood that did come before the duct tape. My God, what did he do to her? What did they do?
I don't know, but this is really complicated, isn't it?
It's brutal, is what it is. Whenever Hiyoko died, could Hiyoko have been strung up and then killed? But
no,
anyway,
there was not blood on the outside of the tape. It was only
you're
on
right,
her
you're
kimono.
Right. But the tape, if the tape was like a compress and blocked the blood. Anyway, whatever. However that works. If she was killed there, that would explain why there was some blood on Ibuki's shoes and some blood that was wiped up on the stage.
Yeah.
That's why that blood would have to be wiped up.
Right.
Is because it's part of the cover-up.
Yeah.
There might be other things from this storage room that they used for the crime.
Oh, yeah? You always pretend to give me hints, but in the end, you're just going to be on the killer's side, right?
Hey, Damon has a pretty good argument for why I might have been cooperating with the killer and or killers this time. No, I'm not siding with the killer, you know.
Let me feel your forehead.
I'm just on the side of whoever acts in the name of hope. That's all there is to it.
You know, between this game and Spirit of Justice, let it go and hope just have no meaning for me anymore. The words have been bereft of definition.
What?
That's the main reason why this case is really special.
Oh, good.
Man.
But I can't say for certain, though.
What is this guy saying? As usual, he's not making any sense.
My God, my hand. It's so interesting.
This hand is burning with a blazing hope.
I'm sorry, I just... Omae o taoseto tagayaki sakeba!
That is why I said that, yes.
Hisatsu
Hope
kibo
Finga. Oh, there you go.
Finga! Hope and go! Thanks, Billy. By the way, Hajime, Hope Finger? What's that about?
Don't look at me.
I still don't quite understand the details of what happened because you and nobody else will tell me. Hey, if you can explain it to me in detail, I think I'd be able to give you some more useful information that would really benefit the killer whom I cooperated with this time.
Really? You might end up confusing us again instead.
Oh, did I say that out loud so you had the normal response to it?
You don't want to find the truth. You just want to make us suffer.
How mean.
That's not true. I'm doing this because I believe it's for everyone's sake.
I like that how mean.
Yeah, it's kind of pathetic. Well, you know what they say about the road to hell and good intentions.
Yeah. Man, this guy's got a freaking, road crew set up.
You can't judge the outcomes of anything I've done. You can only judge me by the intentions I had when I took those actions.
Hey, don't you go getting philosophical on me, buddy.
Oh well. For the sake of everyone's hope, I'd gladly become the enemy, and I won't mind even when I die.
Yeah, that's the problem, really.
Damn it.
That's the main reason why I can't overlook this case this time.
Well, I guess he isn't involved with the killer, or he
didn't
wouldn't be so...
Talk to me again! Yeah.
What does that mean?
Regardless, I guess you're not gonna tell me, huh?
Nope. As the only one who is here to witness it, neener.
Well, I'll see if I can't go lean on Gundam or Monomi.
Good luck.
And it can't be helped. I guess I'll just rely on my gut feelings.
Gut feelings?
Hey.
You should come by later, too. I'll go there first and wait for you.
Where exactly are you talking about?
Hyoko's hotel room, then. Oh! Well, obviously, the movie theater.
After he said that, Nagito walked out of my sight.
I mean, I guess he has that connection to the bag from the movie theater.
That's true.
How many of those bags were made? Didn't Monokuma say he made it really cheap or something? It doesn't really matter.
I honestly don't remember.
That's
that was
like
so
a
long
gag,
ago.
really.
And it was a gag, yeah. Movie theater. Why the sudden interest in the movie theater?
Well, because that's where the bag came from. But
I mean, should we have watched the movie? Is it relevant?
I know you
did.
You were like shrieking about the movie like a banshee with like this blood-curdling like hatred and fury in your eyes as your tongue lolled back and forth, spraying saliva everywhere. I think I'm mixing you up with something.
Oh, you flatterer.
What?
I guess that's everything important in this
Oh, it's
story
because I
group.
talked about the tongue thing and you really like Genocide Jill, isn't it?
I guess I should go back to the music venue. Alright, with this, we might be close to finished investigating the music venue. But I still need to talk to Mikan. I need to make sure I get those autopsy results from her. How about it, Mikan? Have you found out anything by now?
It hasn't been long enough! To tell you the truth, it's been very inconclusive. But it's not my fault!
I knew it!
This music venue is just too hot!
That's why the heat was set up so high, to confuse the time of death.
Yeah, I mean, we just went through the same thing in Spirit of Justice.
In the opposite direction, no less.
Where the body was intentionally made cold to confuse the time of death. It's like, we're already thinking along these lines.
It's so weird that the games we play always parallel each other like this.
I think it might just be that we look for similarities and differences and contrast everything that we do.
Okay, yeah, no, that makes perfect sense.
But because of the heat, I can't estimate the time of death! It's like it was intentional!
Because of the heat. Is that possible?
If a body is overexposed to heat or cold, you won't be able to determine a precise time of death.
I see. That might have been the killer's goal. Might have. They cover up...
And the reason you would do this is because it's important. If it's weird, it's important. If it's unusual, it's important.
Yeah! They covered up their time of death by using the heater to make the inside of the music venue hot.
Therefore, they needed to cover up the time of death.
Yes! But... that's weird!
That's why it's important. Even if this heat is the killer's doing, is there any reason for them to cover up the time of death?
Nah, probably not. I agree. As long as I saw it, it should be clear what order the murders occur. Okay.
Hajime!
Yes, Mikan?
I think you were about to say something really smart, and then he said something really dumb.
Nah, you're just being overly observant like you always are. First was Ibuki, then Hiyoko.
If they're saying it right away, then it must be wrong. And as long as this is an imitation murder, there shouldn't be any mistaking the order of the murders.
Imitation murder? Yeah, exactly.
Huh? You don't know, Hajime? I thought everyone already knew.
See?
It's a murder where the killer uses a creative work, like a song or a film, as an outline for their killings.
Oh, yeah? Or, potentially, just for example, a drama?
Tell me more.
Yeah.
It's so common in detective novels and manga and video games that you start to get annoyed by it.
Are you implying you would rather killers be more creative?
Well, it would be more interesting, but whether or not I'm annoyed by the method that a killer uses is sort of irrelevant, but it doesn't mean that you don't have emotions about it.
Alright, that's a fair point. How would an imitation murder be related to this murder?
Well, based on the killing order and the way they were killed, it's clearly an imitation of that one movie you never watched.
Aha! That movie?
Good instinct.
The assumption is
Did you all watch it?
an imitation murder is the reason why the killer killed two people.
Oh hey, that means that there's no way we could have done it.
That means that... Good, you can't criticize Hajime or blame him because...
I've got the sticker to prove it.
The goal was an imitation killer. Isn't this like the second time in a row? Even so, why did they feel the need to do something like that? If it's your first impression, it must be wrong.
Yeah.
Like the characters, at least.
Yeah.
Meaning it was meant to look like this. The reason that it looked like an imitation killing was because there was some reason it needed to look like two people were killed, such as there were two killers.
Yeah.
Not one who's doing an imitation.
So we need to watch the movie now because there's some clue in the movie.
Maybe.
That's good.
Well, there's something in maybe something
There's
like that.
There's going to be some assumption in the movie that they're probably going to draw that will help the killer somehow.
Yes, that will help the killer because it's not true.
Yeah.
The reason it's being done is to cover up what actually happened.
Yes.
Do you have a minute?
Excuse me, if this was really an imitation of that movie, then is it possible that one more person might have been killed?
This too must be the will of
It's
Kazali.
certainly conceivable if the killer wishes to complete the imitation.
Hold on a second! I think someone needs to tell me about this frickin' movie right now! What are you all talking about? An imitation murder? One more person might have been killed? A movie? Boat mab? I think that's something else.
Are you guys worried that there's gonna be another victim? Then no worries! Things would get out of hand too fast if a bunch of people could be killed at once.
Ah!
I'm a real cautious fella. Funny how this comes up in chapter 3. Unlike
Again.
the last game.
Oh, no, yeah, it came up in chapter 2 last game, didn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Well, maybe it didn't. Well, in any case,
Yeah.
parallels, whatever the details are. So, I've prepared a perfect countermeasure. Ahem. On this killing school trip, the same blackened can only, after all, kill a maximum of 2 people. I know you guys were looking to see if that regulation still existed and remarked that it hadn't. Well, it doesn't. Or, it didn't, but it does now. So there.
Huh?
You mean you've added another rule?
Yep.
Well, if killing everyone at once is okay, then Blackened would be able to secure an easy victory, right?
That makes a lot of sense.
I mean, Nekomaru just could have murked all you people at once.
I know, there's no way we could have withstood his thunderbolts.
This new rule will prevent that.
Whoa! New rule?
Make sure you slam it into your tiny brains.
If he just made up this rule, that means it didn't exist prior. So that can't be used as an excuse. The killer wouldn't have known that.
Huh. At present, he has been remarkably fair, as in, oh, you're right, those are the rules, I'll save Fuyuhiko. Oh, right, those are the rules, I'll save Nekomaru, so...
Uh-huh.
If it is a maximum of 2 people, then there will not be any more killings?
I think Chiaki may have noticed something too, 'cause she's pretty smart.
Since you're here anyway, can I ask you one more thing? You know, I just want to confirm one of the class trial rules. Thank you so much for doing this, oh my god! I see. As expected of you, you're very strict about games.
But is he talking about the video game?
Or the video game. Well, the killing game, yeah, but... I don't want to consider this possibility at all. And I don't even want to think someone would do this. If 2 cases occur at once, what happens if there are 2 killers?
So...
Like I said, I'm talking about the possibility that Ibuki and Hiyoko were killed by 2 different people. Even BSG's talked about this. That would mean that 2 killers exist at the same time, but we can only vote for 1 person, right? And in the last game, I know they got around it by having one of them kill
the other.
But why am I talking about this?
I am concerned.
If we can only choose 1 based on a majority vote, the other person could certainly achieve victory.
I guess we would have to first prove that they were 2 separate murders and then have a trial for each of them.
Monokuma is probably about to give a fiat rule like, oh, you're right, that would be complicated, but we don't need to worry about that because that's not the case this time. That's what he's done in the past.
You're right, and it's really suspicious every time.
But he's right every time.
I
mean,
know.
he is telling the truth when he does that.
You know, it kind of looks like Miss Sonia has a halo in this shot.
Kazuichi, you're not even here.
I'm here in spirit.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. That would really be complicated. So what happens in that case? What about a case where there's 3 incidents instead of 2? Or if 4 incidents overlap one another?
Silence.
Shut up! Quit trying to be such a stickler about possibilities! It's okay. I'll make extra sure something like that never happens from now on.
Uh-huh.
Hey,
Meaning 2 killers can't exist at the same time. So it's safe to say that applies to this case too, right?
wow.
Oh,
Like this.
all right, fine. That's right. There's always one killer at any given time, parallel to Danganronpa 1 or something like that. Even if they had an accomplice, I'd have you figure out who the mastermind is.
Uh-huh.
This is kind of depressing.
That could mean that it's either the same as the first game, or what is more likely, the accomplice is still alive and is not the Blackened.
And it's not
Because
the
he
Blackened.
just explained
Uh-huh.
how that worked.
But then if we found the mastermind, that means that the accomplice would be alive.
That's what I'm
living
talking
with
about.
us, and we would know that they helped in someone's death.
Why hasn't anybody consulted with me yet?
You just explained it.
Somebody who could have been in the hospital wearing that robe, who has that I said it could have been Nagito or Ibuki.
You're right.
That's the only people, because it could not have been Akane.
right.
That's
They're both.
That's if that's true. It may not be. But why does the projection room exist again?
Well, the conference room. The
Yeah, why is that all there?
Well, that's where you have conferences. You pull the curtain and then use the projector to project on the curtain.
Why does that exist in this game?
Oh, specifically for this setting, I'm sure.
For this!
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but we have to check that out to see if that's the case.
Yeah.
Man, I ended up giving you a huge hint, darn it! She made me say it. It isn't fair. Gamer brains are not to be underestimated. I should just shut up and go back to my cave.
I think you complimented us.
I don't like this. That's what my voice clip said.
I see. So there's no possibility for 2 killers to exist at the same time.
Or in the event that there's an accomplice,
It's the person who came up with it that's the Blackened.
because there is no specific rule against accomplices in this game.
Yes, and we were wondering about that for a while, too. With this, I guess that narrows things down a little, sort of.
Yep.
Yep, that makes things a little easier.
Fine.
Plus, if the same killer can kill a maximum of 2 people, it means a 3rd victim would be impossible. Imitation murder breakthrough!
You guys keep saying that, and it sounds strange to me. What do you guys mean by imitation?
Why have you become a great fool?
I'm sorry, it's that I've caught the disease!
Ah! Could it be? You haven't seen it? Don't tell me you paid $1 million for the sticker!
Even I'm not that stupid. Seen it? Seriously, seen what?
So,
Like I said, and Sonia said this too, that movie.
oh my.
When we first explored this island, Monokuma was passing out invitation tickets.
Then the imitation is...
Of course, it's an imitation of that movie.
Well,
Well, based on the murders this time, it closely resembles that movie as if they were copying it.
As if they copied the movie. I see. Nagito mentioned something about that.
Then it can't be helped. I guess I'll just rely on my gut feelings.
Gut feeling?
Gut feelings.
Gut feeling.
Gut feelings.
Gut your feelings.
You should come by later too. I'll go there first and wait for you.
Where exactly are you talking about?
In the fucking lobby!
What are you doing here for Yumiko?
Well, obviously the movie theater.
The lobby of the movie theater!
As it turns out. I see, so you haven't seen it. Still, it's not too late, I think. You really paid $1 million for that sticker? That's pretty gutsy. It's probably a good thing if you watch that movie before the class trial starts. Isn't this a lot like the last trial?
Looks like I need to do that.
Then I should get going too. There are other places I want to investigate. Hey, you didn't find a key or anything, did you? Where do you intend to go next, Chiaki? Probably the hospital! For sure. The first victim, Ibuki, was there. I don't know what was going on at the hospital in the first place, because that wasn't my group, but...
Yeah.
Thanks to that despair disease, we could not go there for some time.
She's right. It might be good for me to investigate the hospital, too.
Like those 2 rooms you never had to go into previously.
There might be some clues related to Ibuki's death. For clues related to Hyoko's death, I should try going over to the motel. I've got the key to her room. There's still a lot of things I can do before the class trial. I'll definitely give it my all until the end. How'd you do it?
You are really suspicious. Just a little bit more time, and I'll be back to my old self. This ain't like me at all. Man, it's almost like I did something, and there's like emotional flashbacks, and I don't really like them. Or maybe not! Funny how nobody talks about me in the hospital, though, huh?
Anyway.
It's very difficult to estimate the time of death. I've been trying this whole time, but I can't even come up with a good guess. Also, did you like how Damon was making the exact same pose? And there's a point in me mentioning this because you don't have a face cam. It's not my fault. It's because the music video is so hot. I'm sorry I haven't made it. I'm sorry, gang.
I got that already. Calm down, both of you.
But if the killer is behind this, is there any reason for you to talk to me again?
Mikan, after the moments we've shared, there's always a reason to talk to you.
Hey, I don't know how to feel about that except to say, would you like me to take off my clothes?
Alright, where are the goods?
Well,
Fuyuhiko told me to tell you something, but it's kind of rude, and I think it's an in-joke I'm not really involved with.
That's okay, you can tell me.
I feel like I haven't been here in a while, even though it's only really been a few days. Say, has time felt like it passed really fast for you, Hajime?
Yes.
Well, it didn't for me. Why would you say that?
Hey, you prepared that surveillance camera unit, right?
Hey!
Yeah, so I didn't make any weird modifications or anything. It's not like I'm suspicious or anything, right?
You know,
Guys?
What's interesting is that he's here and not over there, so he doesn't get to see the surveillance equipment.
That's true. Didn't you get this from that shady-looking alley where all those machines were lined up?
That's it! The alley was shady, therefore you're suspicious!
Yeah, I just tweaked it a little. Then if there are other surveillance camera units, would it be possible to transmit a signal to the hospital from those cameras too?
Oh, this is a good point.
No, that's impossible.
Because that's the modification he made.
Yeah. Originally, surveillance cameras and surveillance monitors are only used as part of the same unit. The video that was filmed at the hospital camera can only be viewed on the hospital monitor.
What he's saying is, you can't switch the camera and the monitor without him having done it, and he's the only reason.
Okay.
This is to prevent that line of thought from being explored.
Okay, I understand now. That confused me for a second.
And he's like, nobody else could do the tech tweak that I did, so...
Okay. The video that was filmed with the music venue camera can only be seen on the music venue monitor.
Hey!
But if I left it like that, we wouldn't have been able to communicate, so I decided to swap the cameras. So that's how you guys were able to view the hospital footage from the music venue and vice versa. However, each surveillance camera unit manages its broadcast based on a specific number. So even if you bring the same model camera or monitor, you won't be able to interfere with the signal. Meaning, even if another surveillance camera exists, it'd be impossible to broadcast with it.
Therefore, we have to go with the amount of surveillance cameras and monitors that we have.
However, I didn't just swap the cameras. I modified them and increased the wireless range. If I hadn't done that, we wouldn't have been able to use it. You're right, you did work on that.
It just means you couldn't go get another camera
Yeah.
and have it work.
There's a surveillance camera unit on top of the reception desk. As long as the music venue surveillance camera unit is destroyed, it's impossible to broadcast with this.
Hajime.
Hey, Hajime, there's something I want to ask you. You first discovered Ibuki's body at the music venue, right? But why did you go to the music venue? You had a reason for that, right? You never had a chance to tell anybody anything about what was going on.
I guess I didn't.
Did you see something with this camera?
That's right.
Oh, I also wanted to ask you that. It'd be different if the surveillance camera unit could record, but it's only good for household functions.
Hey.
Whoever would have done it, it was before the morning announcement. They had to have counted on somebody going to see it. Were they counting on Hajime specifically to go see it?
I think it would have worked if it was Hajime or Fuyuhiko, because they would have known someone would have been there waiting for the morning announcement.
And where was Fuyuhiko again?
I don't remember. I know he wasn't
Oh, no,
here,
he
though.
was at his... Yeah, because Hajime and Fuyuhiko were in their cottages.
Yeah.
And had to come here because they weren't allowed to sleep here if they weren't a patient or Mikan.
Yeah.
So it was intended for either Hajime or Fuyuhiko, whoever got there first. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it important that it was discovered before the morning announcement or not?
I'm not sure.
Neither am I. The reason that I say that is if it were specifically meant for Hajime or Fuyuhiko to catch it before the morning announcement, then it would have had to have been from somebody in the hospital who was either the accomplice or the mastermind, because nobody else would know the rule about the hospital and how that could be planned.
Yeah!
Only somebody from the hospital could have planned that, if that is the case.
We need to keep it in mind as if it's important until we can decide otherwise.
Yeah. Tell me, Hajime.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I saw a strange video in that surveillance camera unit. Oh god. It showed the music venue stage. There was a black curtain hanging like there is now.
Got it? There's a black curtain!
But the whole display was pretty dark because they were just using candlelight. There was rope hanging from the ceiling, and beneath that, there was a stepladder on the floor. And right away, a person wearing a hospital gown and a hemp bag on their head appeared. I didn't know who it was because their face was covered, but now I know that must have been Ibuki. She walked straight to the stepladder, and without any hesitation, she climbed that stepladder of her own free will, and then she grabbed that rope and...
And that's exactly what the killer wants you to think. Does that look like it's Ibuki?
No,
It doesn't look like it's Ibuki.
No hair, no nails, because she's got nails.
Yeah, she doesn't there's no black nails on that.
Plus, that looks like a pretty masculine build.
It does! That's why initially I said that's either Nagito, or I guess I said it could be Ibuki because of the flattish chest.
And that's all I saw.
And doesn't this look taller than Ibuki?
It's hard to say. The only thing we have as a frame of reference is the stepladder. So it could have been someone a lot shorter.
You know, that's true.
The candlelight being used must have been snuffed out or something because the screen went dark all of a sudden and it wasn't displaying anything anymore.
That's not a truth bullet, though.
Man.
He's only got his memory of that image. You know, it's not like us. We can just go print screen and we're set.
Well, so can he. He's a robot, remember? Ultimate android.
If that's the case,
Well, if the candlelight goes out, obviously nothing will show up.
maybe he's the ultimate Hope's Peak fanboy.
Maybe. Modern surveillance cameras have infrared functions, so things can still show up even in the dark. But the one I got from the machine alley was a really old model. It had X-ray functions.
What? Hold on! Don't be stupid. At the time, you said you didn't know the person wearing the hemp bag was Ibuki, right? Didn't BSG already have this conversation?
Yes, to both. You didn't know it was her, but you saw she was trying to hang herself. So you rushed over to the music venue to try to stop her. But I didn't make it in time.
Hey,
Still, if she climbed the stepladder on her own, does that mean she committed suicide? Wouldn't that mean she's her own killer? Ibuki committed suicide?
What is that line?
What do you think, Chiaki?
Well, I'm totally gonna answer you, but just to change topics briefly, do you see those handprints on the window?
I know, they're really creepy.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. There's no doubt Ibuki climbed the stepladder on her own, right?
Well, Hajime's going to say yes, but, you know. Yeah, there's no doubt.
If so... I almost feel like I'm too competent in this game, Because
Hey!
I'm like one step ahead of pretty much everybody the whole time.
Hey, don't think for so long you're making me feel self-conscious. If you don't know, just be honest about it. Well, of course she doesn't.
That was kind of profound. I don't know if I agree with the sentiment, but it was an interesting sentiment to express.
There's no way we'd be able to figure that out so easily. Oh!
Oh yeah, I need to investigate the conference room on the second floor. Don't worry, I'll never do that again.
Why did you say that so weird?
I'm heading over there right now!
What the heck? She ran away all of a sudden. It's almost like I made her feel bad.
I'm not gonna do that as a habit though, so don't worry about it.
She said the conference room. But why would she mention the conference room? Also, I might just be overthinking, but did she seem a little upset?
Yeah, I think she was upset because Hajime wasn't thinking about anything and was accepting everything at face value.
What happened to our protagonist, Damon?
It became Chiaki.
Akane?
Isn't it interesting how everybody's going everywhere?
Yeah.
I'm finally getting back to my normal self. Hajime, help me out with my recovery! You can touch my boobs if you win!
You make a very compelling, if suicidal, offer.
What do you mean suicidal?
For me. No thanks! She was bearable when she was quiet. Be so much better if she was still Oh, what a horrible thing to think! She'd beat me up if I said that out loud. I'm pretty sure everyone would beat me up if I said that out loud. Anyway, why are you here? You feel better, right?
Hey!
Well, I've never been sick or hurt before, so I had no idea, but... By the way, there is, what to call it? Cultural tradition?
Uh-huh.
In Japan that if you're an idiot, you'll never get sick.
I think I've seen that in anime.
Yeah,
Like a trope.
exactly that, like a cultural trope. So she's basically saying, I am an idiot, so I have never been sick or injured or hurt or anything like that.
I don't even know what a hospital's for, really.
Hospital gowns are pretty comfy. I was thinking I might as well keep wearing one.
Don't tell me you plan to wear hospital gowns from now on.
It'd be pretty interesting, wouldn't it? I mean, that's the idea. But it looks like they're out of stock.
Oh yeah?
It looked like there was one gown for each patient's room. So I thought there'd be more in the empty rooms.
There weren't any gowns, you say?
Yo!
Yeah, that's right. Ibuki died wearing one, so the only one left is the one Nagito was wearing. What about the one I was wearing? If I have no choice, then I should just use Nagito's. It's a unisex size, so I'll probably be able to fit in it.
Hold on. What happened to the gown you were wearing?
Are you saying I should wear the one I already wore? That's gross. It's not like it's covered in Hyoko's blood or anything.
I'm not sure what to tackle first. Wearing clothes someone else was wearing is even grosser.
Like,
No time to dilly-dally. I totally left Mikan back at the music venue and I don't want to keep talking to you. Crap, I gotta go back soon.
Well, it's okay since I already investigated the music venue, but leaving her on guard duty was a bad idea.
She was supposed to be on guard duty, wasn't she? Does that mean something? She was supposed to be on guard duty and she left.
I don't know. I mean,
Mikan's still there, so.
yeah. And it's not like the killer's gonna kill Mikan.
Or probably be Mikan. I mean, she has a rock-solid alibi.
Yeah.
Unless she was working with somebody else at the hospital.
Right.
No, really. That could work.
If she was...
If Mikan and somebody else were at the hospital. Remember,
Mikan would know about the whole heat messing up the time of death thing.
and Mikan would also know about the plan.
Yeah!
And she very possibly could have... Remember the reason I implicated Akane, other than the fact that it's apparently a tradition for me to implicate Akane, is because I thought it would be profoundly tragic.
Right.
For somebody to get the despair disease, do something while they weren't in their right mind, and then regret it afterwards.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how seriously I'm taking what I'm saying, but I am exploring the possibility she could very easily have had a grudge against Hiyoko.
You're right. She caught the disease.
And again, the game has used funny scenes to cover stuff up before. When she woke Hajime up the second time, Hajime remarked on how hot she was.
You're
how
right.
hot.
You're right.
Even if it wasn't the despair disease, it could have meant she had been hanging
Yeah.
out at
the music
theater.
venue. I
yeah,
gotcha.
the music venue. So whether it's a disease or not, she could have been hot from that. And she knew she could get in to Hajime's room to get him to see the thing. She had
right.
the opportunity.
You're right.
I don't like the idea, but she did have the opportunity to do, and the knowledge to do everything, and something of a half-assed motive.
And Yoko does constantly bully her.
And I'm really, really, really thinking that it's somebody from the hospital that did it. Nothing in the staff room.
Hey, Chiaki! I'm here to make fun of you some more. What's this? It's pitch black.
Hey.
Don't turn it on, okay? You really don't want to see what's up here.
Oh, you want to be here alone in the dark with me, Chiaki?
Dude, that's not even appropriate.
I know.
I think.
What?
Hey.
Chiaki?
Sorry.
Are you there? Speaking of inappropriate.
If you turn on the light, it's gonna be fully exposed. It'd be embarrassing.
What's fully exposed?
Hey, Hajime. If you poke out your eyes, you can turn on the light.
Can't I just close them?
What are you gonna do? Are you gonna poke them out?
I'm not gonna poke out my eyes.
Oh, okay.
Aww.
Bummer.
What is your problem?
Troll fail. I'm just no good at this.
No sooner did she finish saying that, I heard the dry sound of curtains being drawn.
Maybe my delivery's too flat.
There was a flash of intense light that stung my eyes a little. I squinted my eyes until they started adjusting to the light.
Dang, you were just in the dark room for a second.
Those are some really thick curtains if the light couldn't even peek out around them.
Uh-huh, they sure are, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, I actually thought that there might have been blood everywhere when Chiaki was saying that.
Yeah.
But no, she really was just trolling.
And I saw Chiaki had finished opening the curtain that was covering the window.
However, this appears to be the room, just like we thought, where that was filmed. Were you surprised?
Disappointed, really. Surprised? I don't get it.
I guess I'm just too earnest to be a good troll. I got it.
Got what?
See?
The curtains in this conference room are designed to completely block out light. There's a projector in here, so they were probably careful about light shining through. Doesn't that make sense? See? A black curtain that blocks light, and it's... Wow, that was really embarrassing, I think.
Yeah, it was embarrassing, wasn't it?
And it's also long enough to reach the floor. It's perfect.
A black, light-blocking curtain. That's why it was so dark.
There's no connection, don't worry.
So is something wrong with it? I'm sorry, Chiaki, don't look at me like that.
Chiaki's on our side, but she is getting mad at Hajime. I'm still in the middle of investigating, so it's a secret. Unlike BSG, when I'm wrong about something, and yes, I said when, I don't want to be embarrassed by saying it out loud.
No fear. Yeah, she's upset. But still, what was all that about? That bit about being embarrassing if I look and troll fail?
Is my delivery really that bad? I just wanted to mess with you.
Yep, she's definitely upset. Why is she acting so childish? No. No. Because she's usually really mature and on top of things, right? Do you think the game's just effing with us?
Yeah, I don't think that there's anything worth looking at there.
I guess I'm done investigating the hospital. Chiaki will say what she needs to say during the trial. I should move on to a different place.
Maybe when Fuyuhiko comes in here, I can get him. I'll try a different delivery this time.
Fuyuhiko's the perfect straight man. That would work on him.
Hey, Fuyuhiko.
Oh, God.
You better not turn on the light. If you do, I feel really stupid doing that.
Go on.
Sorry, guys. Kazuichi poked his own eyes out. I think this one was my fault.
A body has been discovered. I just remembered, I never went inside any of the rooms in the motel. Plus, I don't even know where Hyoko's room is. There should be a number on the key.
And even if there's not, there's only so many. This isn't hard.
It might be faster to just ask someone.
You know, I never noticed, but that's the Motel Vacancy Hotel. It's really
my God.
It's really just the Motel Hotel.
The Mohotel.
So you
The Homotel?
No Homotel.
You're here, right? Come on out.
Huh? Are you talking to me? I'm right here, dude.
I can see you. Did you really think you could hide your presence like that?
I'm not hiding. I wasn't trying to hide in the first place. I'm right here, man. Hey, which room was Hyoko staying in?
listen well.
Open the door to the center room. However, are you prepared? Make sure you pray to whatever god you hold dear. And you might want to bring an extra pair of underwear.
What the hell was that? I wonder, how does this guy talk to his parents and teachers?
Hello, Mrs. Nakamura. How are you doing today? I have done an excellent job on my homework, which I have diligently completed. Yes, I, Tanaka Jiro, or whatever my actual name is. Hey, Hajime, can you explain it to me again?
Oh, the Murder Mystery Syndrome Hour game?
What happened when you first discovered Ibuki's body?
It was the same as when I found it with you guys. Ibuki's body was hanging from the baton lighting. However, there was no body discovery announcement made.
Did you say there was no body discovery announcement made?
However, there was no body discovery announcement made. That's why I went to get you guys. I met up with Chiaki at this motel, and when we were about to go back to the music venue...
Get it?
Oh, I get it. You meant like a body discovery announcement, like the discovery of bodiness?
Yes, Fuyuhiko. That is exactly what I meant.
That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, you met up with Mikan and me.
And when we went back to the music venue, the entrance door wouldn't open for some reason.
Yeah, it's probably that drumstick. So we had no choice but to break down the door and discovered Hyoko's body was suddenly there too. Hey, did you look at
And
the
the
other...
rubber cement, don't forget that.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. That had to have been it. By the way, did you look in the storage room or the staff room or the whatever room it was called?
Yeah,
Room?
that's what happened.
When you got there the first time?
No.
Dude, why not? Because if you had, you would have discovered that Hyoko's body wasn't in it. That's why. I'm knowing things I shouldn't know. I better stop. This is the most important part. When you arrived at the motel, who else saw you besides Chiaki?
Gundam. I mean, as I recall... Oh. Didn't you hear me? A body was found!
And, I mean, Monami and Gundam were here.
Body? Well, Monami's not a suspect.
Why is it impossible? Could it be? Do you intend to spread lies like Nagito in order to confuse us all?
Because Monami's not a student or involved in the game. Besides Chiaki, I also saw Gundam and Monami.
Dude, we seriously considered Nekomaru. Like, we may as well think about everything being possible. No, I'm not accusing Monami of killing anything. I'm just like, let's think about that reaction.
You're right. I mean, that's fair.
I see.
Let's see. So Kazuichi and Sonia didn't appear, huh?
Do you think those two are suspicious?
Not necessarily, but I'm doing the same thing Damon's doing. Well, Hyoko was killed between the time you saw Ibuki's body and when we broke down the door. Right?
Sure, she was.
So obviously, those two are the most suspicious since they weren't with us.
That might be it, but...
While we're at it, let me tell you my alibi too. When the morning Monokuma announcement woke me up, I went straight to the hospital. I saw Mikan panicking in front of the hospital. I asked her what's going on. She said Ibuki disappeared.
So you guys split up and looked for Ibuki, huh?
Well, yeah.
While we were circling the island, we came to the motel and saw you guys there.
Did you see anyone else while you circled the island?
Well,
No, we went to the movie theater and a street full of machines to look for Ibuki, but we didn't see anyone. Are you implying I don't have an alibi because I didn't run into anyone? It's unreasonable for you to doubt me now, man. The time that Mikan and I were on our own looking for Ibuki wasn't very long.
We don't think it's you, man.
No. In that short time, there's no way I could have killed Hiyoko and wrapped her around the pillar with duct tape.
It's true. I feel like there wasn't enough time to do that after I left the music venue. But the fact is, Hiyoko was killed, and we did discover her body.
Since the time of death and the order of the murders has already been called out as being extremely important, that they would be wrong in our interpretation is extremely important, so... What? Do you still doubt me?
No,
Hey, man, what about if I doubted you? How do I know everything you said is true, huh? Oh, it's because I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. Because I, like, just a little tiny bit sort of trust you, okay? So why can't you do that to me, huh?
Jeez.
Well, I'm used to it. It's true. I've done things that I deserve to be doubted for. So don't worry. Even if you doubt me, I don't plan on dismembering you and encasing you in concrete.
Okay. I'd want to know in advance what I'd have to do to end up like that.
Now, it is possible that if you doubt me, something else may happen, but it won't be dismemberment and encased in concrete. I promise that.
But I don't want to sleep with the fishes. Looks like it's locked. However, the key was inside her kimono. Maybe if I use this. Ah! It opened! Just as I thought. This key was Hiyoko's room key. Alright, I should go inside.
So it wasn't here either, huh?
So, Hiyoko was staying here. She only stayed here a few nights, so it doesn't really feel like her room, but I feel a little conflicted. Ah!
Oh my.
Oh, did the door open?
How did you get inside?
I followed you. Haven't there already been plenty of times in this game where people that you have left behind have somehow arrived before you or spontaneously arrived no matter or regardless of where they were before? Quit questioning me! I demand it! Quit questioning me now!
Yeah, Hiyoko put the key in her kimono, so I used that to open it.
I see.
What? Did something happen?
No, it's just... I am starting to believe it might be my fault.
Her fault? What does she mean? There you are.
On
Take
the
careful
toilet?
aim. Take careful aim! Be very, very quiet.
Very, very quiet.
There's a mirror, but it's so small and rusty. There's no way anyone can use this.
That is a... It looks like it got, like, stabbed with a knife or a pen or a rod or a something or a... I don't know.
The bed isn't messed up. It doesn't look like she was abducted in her sleep. Okay, fine.
The moment Hiyoko came to this motel, she completely shut herself in this room.
She was afraid of the despair disease, so she was cautious of you guys too, right?
However,
Her fear of the disease was not the only reason she locked herself in her room. She had another reason.
Besides that disease, what other reason would make her lock herself in her room?
Distrust of everyone and hatred. I mean, her kimono.
Her kimono?
Yesterday I went to go talk to her. I was worried. Since she had been in her room for some time, I told her it might be good for her to go outside for a bit. She kept the door to her room locked, but by coincidence, it was not locked at that time. And then I saw it. Hiyoko was crying and struggling with her kimono sash. So it's like, she didn't really learn how. You don't try doing it once, you don't actually learn how to do it. But for poor broken Hiyoko,
It may have been like a psychological scar because Mahiru helped her.
yeah, it's like this is all she has left of Mahiru. So if she can't do it, then she's really lost Mahiru forever.
Yeah.
She has to. She has to be able to do it. It's just,
Well, that's probably why her sash was on backwards then.
yeah. It's just so sad. She was always abrasive and really mean, but it's like you could understand the way that she really was, you know?
Mm-hmm. And to lose someone who cared about her like Mahiru did, she cared about everyone.
Like I said, her role in this game was to be abrasive and difficult to understand, to begin to slowly open up, to get a friend, to fit in with a group, to be happy about these things, to have that taken away from her, to slowly fall into further distrust, and then to die. And that is, I think, the saddest thing that's happened in this game, because it's, I mean, yeah, she was mean and abrasive, but has nobody else ever met anybody who's abrasive?
I wouldn't wish death on someone just because they're abrasive.
Besides, what if that's not what they're actually like? What if that's just like the blunt way they talk to people? Plus, this is a video game. Stuff like that's exaggerated, you know?
Yeah.
It just strikes me as like the only reason she was in this game was to be the puppy that was repeatedly kicked over and over again, and you feel and you can maybe justify feeling a little bit less sad about that because she was mean to Mikan. Anyway, like I said, I think this is just about the saddest thing. She did not want to smell bad, so she took a shower, but then she could not tie her sash anymore. And you know, Hiyoko is so anxious, like anxiety, somebody who suffers from anxiety.
Yeah.
She doesn't know how to tie her kimono sash, which is kind of an important part of her because of her ultimate talent, you know?
Yeah.
But it's like she's afraid to tell that to anybody, to show that weakness. It's like...
It's very possible that because of her appearance, she was treated as a child her entire life.
Yeah, there you go.
Family, or any friends she may have had, and that's why she has to be so blunt and obtuse and
not obtuse.
Well, not obtuse, but like not childlike in her attitude.
That makes a lot of sense, yeah.
That's why she bosses people around and was trying to bullied Mikan. And
I look like this, but don't treat me like a child. But she suffers from a high level of anxiety and perceived shame.
Yeah.
Which is something that I can really relate to. Because I've had a huge amount of trouble with that earlier in my life.
Mm.
It's like the sheer terror of not being able to do something that you should be able to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like the terror you feel at having to admit that. And then she said that, and that's why, you know, she waited and just like stank really bad. It's like she didn't know what to do and was afraid, and so she chose like the thing that most people who suffer from severe anxiety do, like their choice of action is inaction.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's what led to that. Then Mahiru wasn't mean to her, didn't judge her, didn't do any of the things
like
she
a
was.
Child.
Yeah, and didn't even treat her like that. She didn't do any of the things she was so afraid of, and instead she was like, "It's okay, honey," and helped her, and then wasn't upset at her, didn't call her stupid or pig barf or anything. And that's the person that died. Anyway, you know, all of that, maybe looking too much into it. But I suppose the reason that I've always spent a large amount of time talking about Hiyoko is in some ways I have an easy time relating to the way she acts. I don't go around calling people pig barf much, but...
I'm sorry I'm pig barf.
But I really sympathize with people who show a lot of anxiety. Mahiru is no longer with us, so I believe she was having trouble with it.
She didn't leave her room because she couldn't tie her kimono, huh?
Okay, you know,
right.
I guess I do have one last thing on this topic that I want to say. And that is, I have heard, and I'm not trying to cast any shade. I'm not saying anything bad about anybody. That is not my intention in any way. But I've heard that a lot of, or some other people who have Let's Played this game either laughed at Hiyoko's death or didn't like her or something like that. And that's fine. But as somebody who has been in the position of suffering from a huge amount of anxiety and like fear of shame and fear of being perceived as having no ability, and I've had to struggle with that throughout a large amount of my life. And I when I was younger,
me too.
Even when I was younger, I like covered it up. I came up with coping mechanisms to cover it up. Now the coping mechanisms I had weren't like Hiyoko's, which was be really mean, but it's like I recognized it as a coping mechanism. Okay, and the thing that I had to deal with was that it was, for a period of time where it was the darkest time of my life, it was extremely hard to get along with people because people did not like me. And so when I even hear that other LPers gave that reaction, I understand that reaction because I got that reaction too. I'm not saying that Hiyoko is my favorite character. I'm not saying I relate to her the most or something, but man, I get that. That's why I just find it so sad. Anyway, thanks for listening to all of that. The others might have thought it was just a silly sash, but it must have been a serious issue for her. Hiyoko told me that she learned how to tie her sash from Mahiru. That Mahiru kindly taught her the basics.
That's why she wanted to be able to tie her sash on her own.
Perhaps.
She probably could not forgive herself for not being able to do it, especially since Mahiru taught her. I could not really understand her feelings, which is why I said what I did.
What did you say?
Hiyoko, by chance, are you having trouble wearing your kimono?
Stupid! What are you saying? Of course I can do it! Because Mahiru taught me. That's why I can do it on my own.
If that is the case, how about you do it someplace where there is a mirror?
Like a full body mirror.
Yeah.
Do you remember the full-length mirror in the storage room at the music venue? If you do it while standing in front of a large mirror, I am confident you will be successful. Also, shutting yourself in your room like this may be bad for your health.
But that was said in like such good faith.
And that was when she kicked me out. Okay, that... People who don't have that personality don't know what it's like on the other side. I'm not blaming anybody or saying anything bad about anybody, certainly not Sonia. What you said,
Right.
Sonia said that in good faith. But as somebody who apparently has a more similar personality to Hiyoko than I ever thought, I understand exactly where she was coming from. It's not... I'm not like this now. But, you know, we've all had to fight our demons.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I know this isn't necessarily a popular thing to do, but I've been the person on the other side of that door. And it's like, everything Sonia said was right and said in good faith, and she was being nice. But Hiyoko didn't know that. It's not that, or had a hard time recognizing that, or maybe the better way to put it is that the fear and the shame she felt overshadowed any of the reason.
Yeah.
It's not right. I'm not saying that's the correct way to behave. That was the darkest time in my life. I wasted so much time. In many ways, I wasted something of my life because of this type of personality. I don't care how popular Hiyoko is or whatever. The thing that you hate the most when you're in that sort of situation is everybody hating you. That's why you put up these stupid barriers, like thorns, or what was it they said in Ava, like the hedgehog's dilemma. It's like you put up these barriers so other people can't get close. During the worst time of my life, I had a really a really bad personality, and I was a jerk. I was a real serious jerk. Now I got over it. I'm not saying I'm perfect. That's not my point. But it's like I used to be here, and to hear about how people really hate her and won't even try to understand. That's what I was afraid of when I was in that situation, and it so often came true. And that's why I want to be sympathetic towards her. Somebody's got to understand her. Why, somebody has to stick up for her. Somebody has to have had a similar past or a similar enough life, right? Obviously, I kind of went off in a way that Billy certainly didn't expect.
I wasn't going to stop you.
And I certainly wasn't planning on it. Well, anyway, I was sort of surprised to have been reminded about that time in my life and to have that big outpouring of sympathy and emotion. For anybody who listened to that, thank you very much. And that's really the first time I've ever said something like that, too. Not the thank you, but...
Right.
Just gone off like that. Anyway. And that was when she kicked me out.
It cannot be.
Could it be Hiyoko remembered that?
Are you saying she went to the music venue to wear her kimono?
It is not your fault, and she didn't even think of it as your fault.
Sonia had no reason to think there was a killer about.
And she didn't do anything wrong either.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that.
I can see that happening. Hiyoko locked her room and made sure she put the room key inside her kimono. I can't imagine that she was abducted by someone. If so, that's weird. Hey, did you tell anyone else about that before the incident? Or was someone listening in on your conversation? Has seems to be a common occurrence in this game.
Yeah. I never told this to anyone, and I do not believe anyone was listening in on our conversation.
Nobody knew? If that's the case, how did the killer know Hiyoko was going to the music venue? Was it just a murder of opportunity? But if they were trying to imitate the movie...
Yeah, I have no idea of what to make of it. I'm kind of thinking about other things, too. So
that's fair. Something's wrong. I don't see anything else that looks suspicious.
Well, we were going to finish up the investigation, or at least get to do the next part in this episode, but I guess I kind of wrecked that idea.
It's okay. There's no sign that someone made a mess of her room, and I don't think she was forcefully abducted.
DAYMON'S dark past, if you will.
I've gone off enough about mine. I feel like I couldn't really find any important clue. Oh well.
Something that I will definitely say, and man, this has become massively somber, I actually like Sonia a great deal more than I did before this scene. The reason being is that she was here wondering if it was her fault. She doesn't necessarily understand what Hiyoko's reaction was or why it was that way.
She's a very sheltered person, too.
Sure, but she did feel bad for it. It's just empathy, because Sonia's really nice. And I'm just saying that was your opinions on fictional characters can often be shaped by your reaction to something in one small moment. For instance, a longtime viewer had mentioned that he ended up really liking Makoto from Persona 5 because she went to see a Yakuza movie. It's like these small things that cause this instant click, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, that was my instant click. Entertainment! Really, all you get is an emotional outburst. The end. Thanks. Bye.
Danganronpa. Danganronpa.